Hey guys, welcome back to Home Built, and Harry is making a very nasty noise. All right guys, welcome back, and those who've been following will know that I took Harry to Adelaide, which was, it's about 1,300 kilometres away, 800 miles or something like that, and did the Adelaide Rally, had some throttle issues, then came back, and I pretty much sorted that out, I think, but I haven't driven Harry much because just recently it started making a horrible ticking noise, which you can hear here. Now that has, at first I thought it was only when it was just cold, but it's constant, and I am really hoping I know what it is. I'm pretty sure, because it's not making it any different under load or revs or whatever, I'm pretty sure I think it is actually the valve lash that maybe getting hot. One of the valve tensioners has actually sort of loosened off, and so there's probably a bit of gap, and the cam is actually hitting onto the rocker. So Harry's due for a service anyway, so I think it's time to jack it up, drop the oil, and then we're going to have to pull off some of the cam covers and see, fingers crossed, that it's just what I think it is. All right, so you can see down here, I've removed the top valve cover on both sides, and all the coil packs and the plugs, and I laid them all out, all in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just so that I can put them all back again. I know which cylinder's which. I've looked at the plugs; they all look nice and even. So now I'm going to go down under the car and do the lower valve covers. So as you can see, my car is actually twin plugged, and I'm running 12 individual R35 GDR coil packs. And as you can see here, with these particular Design 911 headers, I have to actually lower the header on this side to get the lower valve cover out. All right, so all the valves are basically the same, and it's the clearest spot I can show you under here. But basically, on the end here, there is a 13mm nut and a screw on the end. So using a ring spanner, you can loosen off the nut and tighten up and loosen up with a flat blade screwdriver the valve lash. And using the Porsche specific feeler gauge, it's basically, you could use a regular feeler gauge bent at 90 degrees to sort of slide it in underneath. And basically, you just want to make sure that it's 0.1 of a millimeter clearance between the foot and the top of the valve. So let's go up and I'll show you how we get everything ready to go so we can start doing cylinder number 1. So I tried turning the engine over using the pulley here, and I found that my belt was too loose, so it was a good time to tighten up the belt. So cracked the nut off, and there's basically a total of 6 shims, and some are in front and some are behind the pulley for the belt. And basically I just pulled one from behind and put it in front. You need to keep all of those 6 shims and bolt it back up again, and then the belt's nice and tight, and we're good to go. All right, so you can see this much easier on the lower valve cover, but basically, if I can put my little feeler gauge in there, and you can see where the feeler gauge is sitting in there, and that is now at the right level. Now, the top one was a little bit tight, and the bottom was a little bit loose. So now I'm happy. Cylinder number 1 is all at tolerance. That they weren't that far out that it would have caused a tapping sound, but we've got 6 more to do. So you can see down here on the crank, I'm currently at top dead center, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my socket, 24mm socket on here, and turn it over until, I want to turn it over 120 degrees, and there is a mark every 120 degrees on the crank pulley. And there we go, that's 120 degrees. So now, this should be ready to do cylinder number 6. And that's the method we need to go through for the entire engine. So basically the cylinder numbering on the 911 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the number of the cylinders. And the firing order is 1, 6, 2, 4, 3, 5. So now I turn it over 120 degrees. I check cylinder number 6 and then turn it 120 degrees. Go back, check cylinder number 2 and then work my way through the firing order. Relatively straightforward. Let's see if we can find some that are a long way out of spec. I've got a feeling it's on this side. All right, just getting underneath and doing cylinder number 6, and that is very, very loose. Let's see if I can get my hand out of the way and you can see it, but yeah, that's just really loose in there. So that definitely could be our issue for sure. So let's tighten it up and hopefully we get rid of our ticking sound. Okay, so I've gone through and I've adjusted all of the valves on all of the cylinders. So like I mentioned, turn the crank 120 degrees between each one, and they were mostly pretty good. Some were a little tight, some were a little loose, but nothing crazy except for cylinder number 6. Cylinder number 6 was out by a long way. It was still tight, it's just obviously just settled or whatever. Hopefully that is the issue. So now it's a matter of going through, cleaning everything up. I've got some brand new gaskets and hardware, so I'm going to go through, clean it all up, new gaskets, replace the spark plugs, replace the oil, and then hopefully that's my issue and it doesn't tick anymore. So I've given all the surfaces a good clean and I've got a nice new gasket, so I'll put it all on here, put the valve cover on and bolt everything and torque it back up again to make sure I don't have any leaks. And in my case, I replace all the coil packs and plug them back in again. And topping it up with 10 litres of Penrite's Finest. I know my car usually takes about 11, so 10's a good start. Okay, so I've gone through now and I dropped all the oil, I removed all of the rocker covers, checked all of the valve clearances. That's all looking much better now. I did find particularly number 6 cylinder was quite loose, so I'm hoping that was where my noise was. It's all buttoned back up again, brand new gaskets, filled it with oil, connected everything up. I'm pretty sure, I always get nervous at this stage. I don't know why, but I just worry that I have done something wrong and I'm going to mess it up. But there's 10 litres of oil in there, so there's plenty of oil. And I said, all the gaskets, everything's changed, new filter. So let's drop it down, start it up, and fingers crossed that knocking noise has gone. Much better. I think it's time to go and take it for a test drive and make sure everything is working the way it should. Fingers crossed, we're all good. Well, that is a relief. I always get stressed out with these engines because they are so expensive. If anything goes wrong, it is such an astronomical expense that, yeah, I really want this to last. Yeah, it's all sounding good. She's driving well. Back to how it was. Adjusting the valves is something that needs to be done. It says sort of every sort of 10,000 Ks or so anyway, and it's been probably 10,000 Ks since I've done it. So Harry's back working well, and I do have another road trip coming up, so keep your eye out for that in the next, it's only about 4 weeks away. So if you're enjoying this stuff, do all the things, like, subscribe, join me on Patreon to watch the videos a day before everybody else, and hopefully you'll join me on the next one. All right, guys, see ya.